Hey friends, welcome back to the house for another drink.
Much needed.
Much needed. Yeah, yeah, this is true. Today we are reviewing something that I think is a little overdue. Last year, Dana and I went up to New Hampshire and the Cape to visit friends of ours, Marco and Teal, and celebrate their wedding. And while we were up there, we had an opportunity to really do some exploring of the area, which we absolutely love to do. And Dana set up a tour for one of the local craft distilleries there. This is Copper Cannon. So what we have here is a number of spirits from Copper Cannon, because after trying them all there, we couldn't leave with just one. We were so impressed with their particular products that we had to get more. And today we are just going to focus on their Maple Rum. And it's delicious.
They all are. It's amazing.
Yes. Now, funny story is we actually had our tour set up first thing in the morning, and as we're parking the car, I'm wearing my Alabama Crimson Tide t-shirt. Blake, one of the owners, is from Louisiana, LSU fan. If you are fans of the SEC, you know there's some rivalry there within it. And Blake immediately started to talk trash. I didn't even know who he was. So I'm thinking, who is this guy that's just starting to talk trash as soon as I get out of my car? But little did I know that he was one of the owners there. So great guy. We definitely had a good time jarring back and forth with each other about our teams.
Who would have thought trash talk would be so endearing?
Yeah. And who would have thought way up in New Hampshire you'd get into it with an LSU fan? So it definitely set the stage for a great experience, a great tour with him, learning more about their distillery and their particular products. Now, as I've mentioned, this is co-founded by Blake Amaker and his cousin Chris Arnold. Now, their story, similar to some that we've talked about before, where they just kind of had an idea, hey, why don't we do this? But theirs started back in 2010, where they were in Ireland for a wedding. While they were in Ireland, they visited a number of distilleries.
As you do.
You have to.
You don't have to.
Well, if you are a fan of spirits, you definitely should.
Churches and distilleries. I think that's the checklist, right?
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you the churches to check. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Now, both are engineers by trade. Chris also had bar experience, and Blake had homebrew experience. So you've also already got the makings there of those that really have a passion for this. Now, what they did is they took that passion, decided, let's go to the next level. Let's produce unique handcrafted spirits ourselves. So that plan kind of set in motion. They returned back to the States, and Chris began to spend countless hours researching chemical engineering on distillation and process design. Now, Blake went an opposite path. He went out to Chicago for formal training and sought out master distillers as mentors. Very smart. Didn't just focus on book smart, but really how folks do it.
There really is an art and a finesse when it comes to taking your book learning and translating it into reality. I don't know of any trade or profession where you can literally go get all the book training, go do all the classes, and then jump right into the field and know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, especially not with this. So from that, he then coupled it by volunteering at numerous distilleries. I mean, So that right there shows that he's committed to this art. And from that point, he actually gained knowledge of cachaça. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Cachaça.
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 3 out of 5 times I'll actually pronounce that correctly. So cachaça. Wow.
Cachaça.
Hadn't even started drinking yet. So what is cachaça? Cachaça. There you go. You got to go slow with it. Cachaça.
I can't hear it. I have to see the word and then just not think, and I'll say it right. Cachaça.
All right.
Cachaça is a distilled spirit made from fermented sugarcane. So it's very similar to rum. Now, cachaça comes from Brazil.
Yep.
And the Brazilians, they were basically growing all the sugarcane, and they weren't even processing it. They were literally just growing the sugarcane, crushing it into a sugarcane juice, taking that sugarcane juice and distilling it, and that is cachaça. The difference between cachaça and rum, even though they're both made from sugarcane, is that rum is going to be distilled from a refined sugar product. So either actual refined sugar or molasses or the blackstrap, as we learned in the previous episode.
Yes. Now, after years of research on this, it was time for them to get to work.
You have to experiment.
Yeah, you have to. So they did a first test on a still which resembled a copper potato gun. If you don't know what a potato gun is, you need to look it up. They're hilarious. Now, because it looked like that, that's where they came the name Copper Cannon.
Potato gun.
Potato gun.
Potato
a
cannon.
copper potato gun.
Copper cannon.
Which we saw there, and it does resemble a cannon. So it's pretty cool. So in 2016, they found a beautiful old New England barn there in West Chesterfield, New Hampshire. And from that point, that is their new home we were actually at.
Yeah.
And they officially opened in 2018.
So in this new home, this repurposed barn, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way, they have a 250-gallon custom engineered modular still. So we talk about other craft distilleries and how they have a specific still for a specific purpose. What Blake and Chris have done is they've completely engineered their own still design to be completely modular. So if they want it to be a copper, if they want it to be a pot still, they can turn it into a pot still. If they want it to be a column still, they can turn it into a column still. They can actually adjust the height on that column to adjust how many distillation plates that alcohol is going to pass through as part of the distillation process. So actually it's really cool.
Yeah, and totally different than what we've seen in other places. So we loved the engineering, the creative thought.
And the forward thinking too, to allow themselves to grow beyond just rum.
Yeah.
So the rest of their equipment is actually repurposed and modified, things that you can do with really awesome engineering degrees.
Yeah.
From stainless steel maple syrup tanks and yogurt equipment.
That blows my mind.
As you do in New Hampshire. You have maple syrup and dairy cows. Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
So they do focus, because of their location in New Hampshire, they focus primarily on New England style rum. So rum in New England has a very rich colonial history, and that style is made specifically from blackstrap molasses. So I mentioned earlier blackstrap in a previous episode we had where my brother Joel was kind enough to share his bottle of Isla Morada blackstrap rum. So Copper Cannon uses the same type of base product, that blackstrap molasses. And it was really just the standard in colonial times because it's you don't want to waste it. You don't want to waste anything. So after you've refined all of the sugar out, you are left with blackstrap and make rum.
Make something with it. Yep.
And it's also tied to their Louisiana roots as well, because of all of that trade from the south to the north, and it just really, really ties it all in, the sugars. So to age their distilled blackstrap molasses rum.
Yeah, which this is the aged rum that we will cover in another episode.
They use only new premium oak barrels. And everything that they produce is made right there in their new barn facility, Copper Cannon, West Chesterfield, New Hampshire. Which, we were looking at some of these other craft startups, their current products are not. So we really like noting when the product is fermented and distilled and aged right there on premises, just like Copper Cannon. It's awesome. Now, it's not enough to just make rum, right? No, you have to go announce it to the world that you've made rum.
Yeah.
So
and you gotta see how it stacks up.
Oh yeah.
You gotta know how you're doing.
Inquiring minds have to know.
Yeah.
So you go enter a whole bunch of shows, and as a result, they now have a whole bunch of awards.
It blew my mind seeing the list that they have acquired up to this point.
So 2018, 2019, New York International Spirits Competition, their Distillery of the Year. They've got a Clear Rum Gold winner from 2018. They have an American Distillers Institute Bronze Award for the aged and the maple rum. That comes from 2019. Then again in 2020, they have an aged rum gold winner. And in just last year, 2021, San Francisco World Spirits Competition, gold for the aged and maple rums.
Yeah, amazing. And it speaks volumes to the level of quality and taste that these have.
And I mean, not only that, what we learned there on our tour is that these are not flavored rums. These are actually infused. So over there, we have maple syrup that's infused with Copper Cannon rum.
That they put in the rum barrels.
So they have this awesome exchange where they will make maple syrup. Then they'll use that to infuse that maple flavor in their rum. And that barrel that had the maple syrup and rum in it, they then put maple syrup in it to get the rum flavor back in the maple syrup, and it's just this like deadly cycle of maple flavors.
Yeah. So either you're drinking it or you're having it with breakfast.
They'll let you taste the maple syrup there, and it's truly awesome. Not only is real maple syrup amazing, and the darker grades are my favorite. This combines both that darker grade with amazing rum.
Well, you ready to pop the seal on this one?
Sure.
All right.
Since this one's already been popped.
We did let family open that one during the holidays because it's pumpkin spice. So, you know how everybody is during the holidays about pumpkin spice.
They do sell out of this one really quickly. It's infused with real pumpkins, everything local once again. So it's delicious. I'm excited to get a taste of this maple.
I can smell it just pouring into the glass.
Rum. So this is a rum for rum drinkers.
Definitely is. Now, this is batch number 19. It's 40%. It does have a strong alcohol smell on the nose.
Yep. That would be the blackstrap, I believe. It does have a much stronger aroma.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of the sweetness from the maple in just the smell of it, but it's a very light color.
Yes. Maybe if you were local, Canadian, Vermont, New Hampshire, somewhere where you were working in maple syrup an awful lot, you might be able to pick it up on the nose, but we can't.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
And this is where you actually taste the maple.
It is smooth, it's warming, and after our Florida adventure, I can really taste more of the blackstrap. It was a flavor that I was not very familiar with, and just comparing those two Florida distilleries, Siesta Key versus Isla Morada. Siesta Key uses a refined molasses, Isla Morada with the blackstrap.
Mm-hmm.
You get totally different flavor profiles in the finished product. And so having that tasting experience, I can definitely now, my palate is tuned in, I can taste that blackstrap. But it's not acrid, it's smooth, it's sweet.
Yeah, there is a difference in flavor from the Isla Morada to this.
Mm-hmm.
It is smooth. It does have more warmth on it.
Mm-hmm.
The maple taste is pretty much solid from beginning to end. It doesn't quickly fade. You know, if you taste it right away and then quickly fades, it just stays there.
And
it's nice.
What I can really enjoy with this maple rum is that other maple flavored just spirits in general, to me they just tend to be like syrupy and sticky.
Right. Yeah.
This is not like that at all. This is truly an infused product. You're picking up on all of the maple flavors without it being syrupy and sticky. And
yeah. It's not forward. It's just right along as a part of it.
Right, and it's that balanced sweetness for me that does it, where it's not like chugging a bottle of maple syrup. It's
it's not that sweet.
It's like it's like enjoying a really fine rum that has just a hint of that maple.
Yeah, it's very light.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough there for you to actually know that it's there, but not compared to others that we've had. It's the dominant taste.
Right.
So it is a very good rum for sipping. Even if you're not a fan of really sweet rums, this one will fit that bill because it's not sweet at all.
And even if you're not a fan of maple flavors in general, because I'm actually not. I don't like maple flavored things, ironically, but I love maple syrup.
Yeah.
Like real maple syrup.
You're weird.
I am weird. But it's that perfect balance for me between the rum and the maple. You have the I don't want to call it a burn, but you have that slight heat from the alcohol balanced with the sweetness of the rum and the maple. And actually, you know what I've noticed is we have particles in this one as well.
We do.
So another fun thing to do with your craft spirits is give it a slight shake in the bottle, and if you can see any of the distillate kind of getting picked up, that could be a really good sign that this is probably little maple crystals floating around in there, if I had to guess.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in future episodes, we will go ahead and do a review on each of the other spirits that we have from there. Mm-hmm. So each of you learn a little bit more about those. But if you happen to be up in, the New Hampshire area, Vermont area, go by and see Blake, Chris, the team there for a fantastic experience. You get to try all of their spirits. They also make mixers there for those that like mixed spirits, mixed cocktails.
Yep, they have pre-mixed cocktails.
Yep.
They have little kits. They have all of their cocktail recipe cards that you can pick up as well.
Yeah.
With some really phenomenal and unique ideas for cocktails.
So definitely one for you to go by and check out.
And bootleg.
Bring
a whole bunch of bottles home. They're small. They're not widely distributed. This is not a spirit that we can just go to our local liquor store and pick up.
No, unfortunately not.
I do have a propensity for choosing those to be my favorites. So,
yeah, we love supporting small distilleries, and especially those that make fantastic products.
Absolutely.
So, great job, Blake, Chris. Just keep putting out fantastic spirits like this, and hopefully next time we make it up in your area, we'll come by, say hi, and see what you have new.
Absolutely.
All right, ready to call it a night?
Yeah.
It's time to relax by the fire.
Time to sit by the fire and sip on some maple.
That's pretty fitting.
Fits my flannel.
I guess it does. Well, until next episode, thanks once again for spending time with us. We greatly appreciate you. Stay safe. Take care. We'll see you then. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.